Now, Judge Michael Mukasey, Attorney General under President George Bush, at the time of all of this craziness, your reaction, Judge, to this torture report?
It's a disaster from so many standpoints that it's hard to know where to begin, but one place to begin is what it means for the future. The CIA is going to be demoralized. This is going to reverberate for years, maybe decades, and we're going to go through what we went through in the 90s before 9/11. With a CIA that was spooked by past investigations and that was reluctant to stick its neck out. I think the next president is going to be severely handicapped by going into office with a CIA that's like the one we had back in the 90s.
And what's interesting with the bombings in Africa and the USS Cole, I mean, we were not even in a war footing, and so the CIA was kind of gun shy at that point. But let's talk about this whole issue of waterboarding for once and for all. Was the CIA given authority to do this?
Yes.
Okay. Was it torture and was it illegal?
No and no. Torture is defined in there was at the time one torture statute that defined torture as acting under color of law so as to cause somebody severe physical or mental pain or suffering. Severe physical pain or suffering wasn't defined. Mental pain or suffering was defined in durational terms, that is, it had to last longer than just a short time. And you know what? Our Navy SEALs are still waterboarded as part of their training. They don't endure pain. They don't endure severe psychological damage either.
Okay.
It causes panic. That's it.
Was this program ended, Judge, this waterboarding?
The waterboarding stopped before I got to Washington. I got to Washington in 2007. I was told to review the memos that analyzed this to find out whether I disagreed with them. I did not disagree with them, but I found that the program had not included waterboarding for years, since probably 2003. Not because anybody thought it was illegal, but because we didn't need it. We had already gotten so much intelligence as a result of interrogating terrorists that we didn't need to waterboard anymore. There wasn't anybody around who needed that.
All right, so in 2003, I think you said they stopped the waterboarding. That was the
last time anybody was waterboarded.
You know, Judge, I read something interesting that said something like, until 2003, there was really no one in charge. I mean, it's almost like having a police department of the CIA over there with, like, no police chief. Is that not accurate?
That's completely false.
Why is Dianne Feinstein doing this, Judge?
I'm not clinically trained, so I can't give you an analysis of Dianne Feinstein.
Psychological on that.
Right.
But she believes that something horrible was done. Now, the Obama administration and Eric Holder and a special prosecutor, I understand, filed no charges. They investigated this, correct?
Before Eric Holder came into office, he told the whole country that a reckoning is due for these terrible tactics, and I'm going to make the reckoning. And then he took John Durham, the prosecutor I put in place to investigate the CIA tapes issue, and unleashed him to conduct an investigation that lasted for 3 years. On a Friday, they released a press release saying no charges would be filed. This is after the case was investigated initially in the Eastern District of Virginia, and they didn't find anything.
And what's amazing is nobody has better information than you on this thing, and yet the Obama administration isn't coming out and saying the special prosecutor said there was nothing there. The president now comes out saying, we should be better than this. Better than what?
I give up. Better than what? This is not an exercise in self-definition. This is an exercise in self-preservation.
Judge Michael Mukasey, thank you so much for being with us this evening.
Thanks for having me.
You're welcome. And up next, she